As Bulgaria is hosting this year's SEMIC conference, it's my pleasure to show you, dear friends, the last achievements of Bulgarian e-government in terms of access to base registers and, of course, the use of core building blocks. First of all, let me give you some additional info. As of December 2016, the Bulgarian State e-Government Agency is operational. I'm sure that the term State e-Government Agency doesn't sound a bell for you, but in the Bulgarian institutional landscape, we are not reporting to any minister. We are reporting directly to the Deputy Prime Minister responsible for the administrative reform and e-government. So we are the centralized body that actually develops the e-government policy, implements the policy, and most important, performs all the coordination activities in terms of what other public bodies are planning, budgeting, and how they are executing their e-government activities. So yes, from a year and a half, we tried to put Bulgaria on the right track and to catch up with the fast developing European e-government. Some information from the program of the Bulgarian government, some highlights. Because we know that it's not only important to have a strategy, it's important that the government commits itself to the e-government implementation. We have in our government program some really important topics. Maybe the most important of this is the practical implementation of once only and digital by default principle, because we had some issues not with the definition of digital by default or once only, but with the practical implementation of these principles, which I will show you later in my presentation. We are committed of doing full optimization of the citizen registration process and developing a centralized address register, which are maybe two of the most important systems concerning once only and digital by default. We will further develop the infrastructure and the shared resources of e-government, because we have a lot and we can leap very fast when we use it wisely. And last on this slide, but not last on the government program, is the interconnection and interoperability of key registers for automated data exchange, because this is the real goal that we want to achieve. We have an eGovernment Act. It was adopted 10 years ago in 2008. It has the once only principle from 2008, but yes, we found that there were some difficulties about this, because yes, we have it in the law, but there are a lot of sectoral laws that actually don't give us the opportunity to use the once only principle, because when in some sectoral law is written that the citizen must provide a document signed with blue ink, of course this document must be on paper and not digital. So our efforts are aimed at amending these laws that are contradicting the once only principle. We have it in our law that all the administrative services must be delivered online. So it's a great push to other public administrations. In recent amendments, we have added some requirements that all public procurements, the terms of reference of all public procurements, must contain specific technical requirements for all information systems and registers that are being developed. Including, we have a template which every public administration must follow. If the public administration doesn't follow this template, we say that the terms of reference does not comply with our State e-Government Act. This may be a harsh procedure, but yes, we think that it's the one that actually works for us. And for the last year and a half, we actually made a lot of improvements thanks of these requirements. Of course, we have it in our eGovernment Act that all the software that's being developed, custom developed for the public administration, must be open source. And when the project is over, it must be fully published in our public repository that we are currently developing. Another important topic of our eGovernment Act is that we are sharing a lot of ready solutions, and other public administration must reuse the solutions that we already have. And concerning today's event, it's most important that all public administrations currently in Bulgaria are obliged to do their IT solutions that have to be interoperable by design. Which are the Bulgarian core building blocks? The first one, called Radix, it's actually an environment for access to base registers. We have an e-authentication building block, e-delivery building block, e-payment building block, and of course the e-government portal for services. The so-called Radix, this environment for access to base registers, it has 62 base registers connected currently. Because you heard that blockchain is entering the public administration realm, we are currently protecting the logs of this environment with a blockchain-based solution which actually hashes the logs and sends them to a smart contract in Ethereum. So we are using blockchain to safeguard the access of personal data through this environment. Okay, I told you earlier that we have some legal issues about the access of base registers. That's why we are currently focusing on removing these legal impediments, legal difficulties in order to use these 62 base registers. These are the most important Bulgarian registers, of course. How does it work? Really simple. Public bodies who have the rights to access this information, they have an entry point. It can be a machine-to-machine, or it can be a web interface through a browser, and then a civil servant or the information system just asks for the information from the registry, and that's all. It works. It's public. We have a website with the statistics of the usage of Radix, so you can see the daily usage, the weekly usage, and the monthly usage. And since we launched it in the end of last year, actually we have almost triple the usage of information from the Radix. So almost 300,000 documents are not asked from citizens and businesses to be presented anymore every month. So this is our one of our real achievements that we made for a year and a half. Another key building block, of course, authentication. We have elaborated a model for integration. With this model, it's compliant with the EU and local regulations. It's a single sign-on for all government systems. Of course, not all government systems are currently integrated with it, but this is our policy. It's most important that this building block is designed to support all means of electronic identification, including the Bulgarian eIDAS node that is being currently developed. It will be integrated through this building block. So no matter which mean of electronic identification a Bulgarian citizen or a foreign citizen wants to use, all the legally acceptable means of electronic identification will be integrated into this building block. And this is our job, not the job of other public administrations. That's how we make their life easy, and that's how we are committed of supporting this building block that will work 24/7 for everybody. I don't think you can see quite well this slide, but it's a really simple model which relies on a ID token, and when the citizen or a company wants to access service, the service portal then communicates with the e-authentication module. The module, the building block connects to the ID provider, returns the result, and that's all. It's really simple, and it works. Another key building block, e-delivery. We have a very fine solution, of course, currently operational. It's part of the end-to-end solution providing e-government services. It meets the requirements for electronic registered delivery service. It supports all kinds of communications, administration to administration, administration to business, administration to citizen, and, of course, citizen to administration's interaction. Even now, the Legal Commission in the Bulgarian Parliament, our National Assembly, is discussing an amendment to the administrative code that will make this building block mandatory for use for all public administrations, including the courts. So again, we are focused on making these solutions that we currently have legally binding for everybody in order to achieve our success. Of course, the building block is eIDAS compliant. It's actually a registered electronic administrative service that our agency is providing to citizens and businesses. It's very easy to use. You can access it on a web application. I want to say that it's currently only in Bulgarian, but now we're going to upgrade it so it will have at least English as a second language. It has a secured and protected communications. It's a really working module that we are currently having as a service to citizens in Bulgaria. Of course, the other most important building block is e-payment. It's the electronic wallet for the Bulgarian citizens. It's a centralized platform for registration of payments of liabilities. It is a centralized wallet for the citizen, but it is securely decentralized when used from the administrations. So me as a citizen, I know what I have to pay to the state, but the state cannot know what I have to pay through this module, of course. We are working currently also on developing English version of this module. It supports different payment methods, including online payment or traditional bank payment. It's developed so it will be very easily integrated into other systems, and of course it enables the full digitalization of administrative services here in Bulgaria. And let me conclude my short presentation with this most important slide maybe. One of our issues from 2002 till now is that as a country we didn't have actually any architectural framework of our e-government. So now we have developed an architectural framework that actually combines all the building blocks, all the rules, and it will be very easy for all public bodies to follow our new coordinated and centralized policy. The building blocks will be obligatory to use by every public administration, so every project for development or upgrade or implementation of system will be obliged to have these building blocks as integral part of the systems. And we have also made a new centralized model for request, payment, and delivery of electronic administrative services. In terms of Tallinn Declaration, this is a very fast way for securing an opportunity for citizens and businesses to have all the administrative services delivered online. This model focuses only on the front office. We are not interested whether the administration has an electronic system in the back office, because yes, there are really small municipalities here in Bulgaria who currently have only an HR system, a payment system, and so on. But the citizens will have the opportunity to use all registered government services online. They can interact online with the institutions, regardless of the level of development of the public administrations. That's why I want to say that, yes, we are doing a lot. I hope that we can show you on the next meeting another accomplishments, another achievements that we have made. And I want to thank you once again for being here. I'm ready to answer any questions you have, even not now at this format, but you can always contact me. It will be a pleasure to share how we actually managed to do the things that we have shown, that I have shown you. Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.